a song of history long, a struggle for the borough we all love, the Rutherglen town, a town strong, whose people bear allegiance to the crown. In Rutherglen we've got Orangemen, whose patriotic flame will never die. And when you hear the battle cry, it will be the Orangemen in Rutherglen.
Hello and welcome to this very special episode of the Orangewomen from Rutherglen on this bank holiday weekend. Thank you once again for everybody that's joined us through the last 9 months and helped us all through lockdown with your stories of your time in the Orange Order. Today we've got a very special guest who has over 70 years as an Orangewoman, from being cradle-rolled into the Juveniles and up to the present day. She served over 30 years as a Juvenile Superintendent and is also a member of the Pride of Rutherglen LLOL 183 Sister Hannah Riddell. Hannah, thanks very much for coming to join us and give your stories about your time for your history through the Orange Order. So your journey as an Orangewoman started 73 years ago when you were cradle-rolled into Juvenile LLOL 30. Do you have any of your earliest memories of being in the Juveniles?
The only one that really sticks in my mind is when old Joe Bowers died. We went to the cut up collarettes and we were all gave a wee bit to throw in the grave up at Mill Street. But everything always was brilliant in the Juveniles. That's the only thing that sticks, because you don't mind at that age. All the fun starts later.
That's a lovely wee sentiment for you as well, isn't it?
We were all thing we'd cut up, because one of his daughters came to my house. She was at a dance, 213 dance once. And John Dolan, he brought her up to my house after it, and I sat and played her for ages. So we did.
Brilliant. I remember that because you brought down artefacts for when he was in the Orange.
So that was, I always sticks in my mind about a wee bit of collarette and throwing it into the grave up there, so it was nice.
Oh, that's a lovely wee sentiment, that's brilliant. What was your highlights in the Juvenile, being a Juvenile member?
Well, just like the Juveniles I knew, but always get treated well, and with Christmas parties, and when you went to your parades, it was always packed lunches. You go and you pack lunch, your sandwich and all the rest of it, because you were all going down to the parks and different things.
It's a lot of hard work. I don't think people realise when you set up a day going up with Juveniles, isn't it?
I know.
Definitely. Do you remember any like specific times going to like a certain park or the beach or anything like that, or things that you
Well, they didn't take us down to the beach when we were growing up. It was always parks. We went to different parts all around about Glasgow.
Because I remember by the time we were doing Juveniles, we dealing with them, it was like you used to go to certain parks different before.
That's right.
Because I think they take them to, it used to be Blair Drummond, is it still Blair Drummond that takes?
Well, the Juveniles have started taking them to Heads of Ayr.
Heads of Ayr, that's all. And
because they say they've been too often, and last year they were due to go to Five Sisters.
Oh right, that's good.
But they didn't get through the epidemic now.
After your time in the Juvenile Lodge, it was the logical move to the Junior Lodge. Did you notice any differences when you made the move?
No, there were ones that was in the Juveniles that had went up, and because my sister and my brother was in it, I know the Juniors ways at that time, and I was deputy mistress at one time in the Juniors, and that was a wee lassie for Spittle. It was a mistress. And there are.
So see, like, like when you go first, people don't really know. See if we're going from obviously the Juveniles up to the Juniors, what is the main big difference between them?
There's not really. You get a wee kind of degree when you get into the Junior. No degree. We explained how the flag folds in. The four flags fold in. That's the only difference you really get in the Juniors. It just explains how it all folds in the right way for the 4 different flags.
Oh, that's quite good. Cause I think it's just a normal progression, just learning wee bits more. Because I know, like when you speak to any juniors and juveniles, it's been in and out at the field, they love it. It's great teaching about the history of the Bible, the order and stuff like that. Right. So it is great for them.
And they knew I love taking the juvenile story competitions. I'm like a loony with the
But the competitions are great though, and they're all going to do really well. Well,
And they're good.
They do really well, and so obviously people just watch it. What kind of competitions did you take them to?
Bible reading, arts and crafts, scripture, Miss and Master Orange.
Ah, that's it. Because I know obviously like the juveniles, the juniors were they done when we done the Easter special, they done the pictures and some of that. And some great talents.
Oh, some of them's brilliant.
Some of the artwork was amazing. Just I was looking going, how could somebody so young?
See that wee, Raymond Taylor? She is actually good.
I see
that wee
was great.
She's good.
I know they were lovely to be for some of it. I just couldn't believe they came for like, sort of young children that drew some of the stuff, and it's good that they got to engage it, because it's through the podcast, it's to show that we're all a big family in the district as well. Do you know what I mean? And the junior and juveniles, they're the next generation.
I know.
So we have to sort of try and keep them interested and show them that it's a good way of life.
Well, now they've started. When I was in the juveniles and the juniors, you didn't get taken to pick your lodge.
Right.
But now we can take them to so many meetings. And they're just there at the opening of the lodge. You get put into the committee room, and then they're out at the close it, and it lets them get the feel of the adult lodges.
Oh, that's quite good.
But I think most of the boys have been going to 213.
There's a lot of, I think as well, because people in it, it's this, like their families are in 213, so it's a sort of natural progression for them. Was there any adult officials who stood out for you during your time as a juvenile junior member that inspired you?
Old Annie Ingalls was brilliant. She was fantastic. Old Annie.
And she inspired you to keep going.
And then in 34, there was a Mrs. Kinnaird, stayed up Fernhill. She was good. And she was good.
So did they like show you the ropes and stuff? And just sort of, because we always say that, like, when I remember, I never came through the junior and juveniles in Rutherglen. I had a wee stint in Parkhead through with my friend, but nothing too official type of thing. And I remember coming to my first meeting, and it was really daunting and things like that. But I think when you come through the junior, it's good as well, because most of the people you'll see all through your sort of...
That's just their age to them.
And there's always, like me, it was like Brother McFarlane and things like that was there, took us under their wing and things, and it's amazing how it happens all through, no matter what stage in your on school, there's somebody there you can also
you still fall back.
No, definitely. So they're the two that definitely showed you the way in the orange. That's brilliant. Did you have any friends in the juvenile juniors that moved through the ranks with you?
Well, no, most of the juniors left. There wasn't a great many come into the adult lodges, because the last of care, she married a different religion, and there was most of them didn't come through.
It seems to happen a wee bit more often than you think, doesn't it, when they start making that stage? But I think what you said there, that you can take them to different and see the opening close, I think that'd be a great step.
It's better than just getting through in at a deep end.
Because it's daunting, it can be daunting a wee bit, but once you settle in a couple of meetings, you'll know yourself for doing it. It's so much easier. But I like the idea of that, going in, let them see a wee bit of the meeting.
Because we've had them down to 34, as David knows, we've had them down there today, and the last is taking them down in 173, we took them down there.
Look, that's good, because as you said, it helped them get a wee chance, because it's a bit different going for juveniles into the adult lodge and sitting going, oh, what's happening here? But that's a good wee step for them.
Some ways are different, some ways are more outgoing and get more confident, and other wee ones that kind of flow back and they just don't like getting through in at the deep end.
No, definitely. And then they can see, they'll know when they come up that, oh, this wee step, well, I've done this before. So it's quite good for that as well, isn't it? Oh, definitely. At 16, you decided to move in to the adult lodge and you chose to join LLOL 34. Why did you choose 34?
Well, most of the ones that was going in, the younger ones, I knew them, and the new ones in it as well. So I just went with them and stayed in there for a couple of years, and then I went to 183 because my mum and sister were in 183 before I even moved.
So what made you then, is it just because it was a sort of natural progression at the time that you went into 34 and a lot of people were doing it?
Aye.
I just thought was the type of thing. Did you find it daunting moving, or was it easier because your family were in?
Aye, well I kind of more or less knew what was happening through the juniors and that, so.
Brilliant, excellent. How do you feel joining the adult? How did you feel when you joined the adult lodge and their setup being? Because obviously I take it back when you moved in, there wasn't. Did you go and meet? Did you go and see a meeting? Have you started a meeting?
No, you didn't get anything like that then.
So how did you feel when you moved up? And
it takes a while to get used to the things that they're doing in the adult lodges. Know what I mean?
I say what I always find with women, because women meetings are different from men's as well, and I think what you do to be in your meetings is absolutely admirable, to be fair, like for your lectures and things like that. And,
I know.
And the way you just remember.
I know they can rattle it off at the top of their head, don't they?
Because like my mum went down 34, I'd go to a lot of their meetings and seen the ones that done it, and you just think it's absolutely fantastic, and it's second nature to them.
I know.
And like I think this is fair to say, but I think if I came into the guys, you'd be still standing with the books. We're into meetings.
And even the ones that sit round about at the adult meetings in the ladies' lodge, when the lectures and that are about knowing, they're repeating that away to themselves because they know it.
No, I've seen that. You look around and the wee mouse are going, they're saying it's actually thing. But then I think if you say to them, like, can you do it? Like, oh, I don't know it, but they all do it. I think
they know it.
there's differences there as well that obviously not going to, but it's like, it is mental to see how. So if I think you're coming up for that straight as a young 16-year-old, it'd be quite daunting as well. And then also referring back to being able to go and see it as a perfect thing to do. So was there anything that did you have anything to do with the sort of transition period, as in saying like can we take them to a part of a meeting for like maybe your last year in experience?
No, well it was discussed one of the conference, you know how they knew we go to conference, and that was brought up at the conference, and somebody asked if they can't start letting the Wains try and encourage them more to get into it.
Oh, perfect.
So that was started for there.
See, it's good because obviously for this kind of podcast today, we've had a few that have came through the juniors and that, but also you're steeped in junior and juvenile history being the Superintendent, so it's great to have a wee insight to people maybe thinking about putting their kids in, because I know when it all goes back, I'm going to put my daughter in as well, and I know people will wait to see them rolled on themselves, but the way I was looking is like, if I put my kid in, she doesn't enjoy it, then it's fair enough, it's not that, but you don't tend to find that don't enjoy it, because it is it's
well, they've got a nickname for me.
Are you allowed to share it?
What?
Are you allowed to share it?
Cuckoo Hannah.
That's it, but the work that you do, and like Andy and that as well, Catherine as well, it's fantastic just because it's teaching that next generation.
And Billy Brawley, he's great. He's great at if we're needing to run anywhere, and Catherine's working, he takes you. He's good.
It's a good core of people that are doing it, because also I know that there is members that have kids that aren't in it, and would you say to them about how would you say to them to maybe bring their kids down and get a try?
I will see they're allowed to come in and try out a few meetings before they make up their mind if they want to join it. They're not pushed into it. So they're allowed to come down.
Would the parents be allowed to come in?
The parents don't need to be announced.
The
parents don't need to be announced to come and sit at the meetings, because I don't think there's any of the parents except Joseph.
So that's quite good. Also, maybe some are going, that looks good, because I know when you do the dress up as well, you're Mary sometimes. People might be in the way going, that looks brilliant. So it's good to let people know.
The mothers can sit in along with them. Because
that's good as well. Maybe hopefully we can try and after this maybe get
and
maybe even get the lodge set back up again and get
a junior band back up again.
Set up back in, because it is missed. Because I know when me and David's time in it, they loved it, they really did, and the trips and stuff like that, and then even the core values of learning about the order and about King William's, that is good. No, definitely. So that's good to know if anybody is interested that they can come
down. That's it, and go down and test it out.
Definitely. No, that's good to know. So your mother and other family members have been in the Orange Order for many years, and you became a mother and a grandmother. You've always encouraged your family to go into the Orange Order. Do you think it's important to teach Orange values and encourage children to follow the route of the Orange Order?
I follow their roots, their family,
Definitely,
because I was put in it when I was about a fortnight old. So was some of mine. And one of the times that I had one of mine, and I kept Jean Watson. She worked behind the bar, and she went, I put the wee into the Juveniles for you, it's already done. I went, thank you, no, because I knew that's what was happened. Catherine done the same with her.
Yeah, no, definitely.
She's done the same with her.
I think it's important as well, isn't it? And I think it was good because we speaking to people who've watched the podcast and things like that, it's good to see, because I think there's too many people got a perception of the Orange Order.
Just the wrong side of it.
Yeah, so just want to wake people up in music and stuff, but it's good to see an insight to what actually happens in the hall when like you think, you see it on social media when people posting orange uniforms or band uniforms to their kids, and it's like, bring them up that way. But it's a good way, because like for being in the bands as well and all, it's like teach them musical instruments, teach them about Bible, and then discipline as well, as the quorum's great. And then
Well, they do a lot of their Bible reading out the Good News Bible.
Right.
So if the mothers have not got one, I distribute the Good News Bible round so that they can get learning the scriptures and all that when they're due to doing.
That's important because I think sometimes the religion falls away from a lot of religions these days, and just really showing that come down and see what it's like, because there's a lot of fun stuff as well, like the Christmas, Easter time, that stuff there. And
it's not that Cedarites and the juveniles know how you can get some kids falls a wee bit back at schoolwork and all the rest of it. See, maybe taking a secretary job on and reading it, it's giving them more confident as well, and it's helping getting through their...
See, there's a lot of things like that people don't realise, that there is a lot of helping, and it's just to, obviously we're Protestants and that's if they follow us, but it's to show as well that we don't dislike people just because...
No, because
I mean, it's like teaching the young ones, they just century old...
I know when I was, maybe when we were young, and they couldn't get to the parade with me. It was a Roman Catholic that used to watch my way to let me go to the parade, you know what I mean? So it wasn't as if I was...
No, I think it's good because there's other podcasts about the show. It's just maybe good to show a different side that people don't just see when you hear them waking them up at 9 in the morning or 9:30 going, oh, that's what again the orange walks out and stuff like that. A lot of work, and like yourselves as well, like the dedication you've given to the organisation in this district is unbelievable. There's so many, and it's like I remember coming out the Orange Order looking up to the likes of Davy McFarlane and stuff like that, and thinking, oh, you'll never aspire to be with him and stuff like that. But it's when you listen to people like yourself.
You can get quick on it.
Oh, definitely. You looked up to people, and then people look up to you as well.
And it's not that, you don't do it for praise or nothing, because it's what you want to do and what you enjoy doing.
Oh, definitely. I think I love that as well, that there's a lot of Orangemen and women that don't make parades. Like they'll have their meetings, and that's the most important part of the organisation in a sense, isn't it? Later on you decided to move from LLOL 34 to the Pride of Rutherglen. You've been a member ever since. Was the only decision just because your family and stuff?
Because I'm still friendly with, even though some of the older ones, Mrs. Dick and loads of different ones that was in it, I still were friendly with them.
See, I think like maybe people don't realise as well, because we don't understand like the district and you're branched into different lodges. Excuse me. We're friendly. We have game. Well, I know the events of game nights, the bingo nights and things like you have is just unbelievable. Like and when you have dances, it's a good community as well. Although you pick, it's not like, oh, you're in 34, you're in 173.
You all get on.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes you have a wee word, but the next day it's forgot about.
That's exactly. Cause I think in organisation that's exact. And I think a lot of people realise that. So when you say stuff, it's not kept going and going.
No, it's not a grudge.
No, the hammer comes down and it's moved on, because we see a lot of people that maybe watch the young ones as well that think, oh, that's a good idea, I could see that, but I'm scared to say it in case I think. But it could be the next great idea that the organisation is looking for.
Because even in the juveniles, maybe the likes, we usually take them down to a butt run in August, and we ask the Waynes where they want to go to.
Right.
To see, and then if we've got more than one, we see, vote then and see where the Waynes want to go to. We ask the Waynes what they want.
See, it's good.
We just don't tell them.
Maybe
they put me in my place.
No, but I think I love it is that they get to control their own their own environment as well that they're going to be in. So it's good. It's good to get an insight into that sort of area as well, because we've not really been able to have that insight into the junior and juvenile setup and things. So obviously that is great. But we're going to take a wee break and view some adverts from the District 20. Thank you.
Rutherglen, we've got Orangemen, whose patriotic flame will never die. And when you hear the battle cry, it will be the Orangemen in Rutherglen.
Our town, our culture, our traditions, our history, our members. For the first time ever, the members of Rutherglen Orange and Purple District 20 can tell their stories to you as part of Rutherglen's first ever podcast. Join me, Jason Hamilton, as I meet the Orangemen from Rutherglen at 6 p.m. on the first Sunday of every month, live on the district's Facebook, Twitter and YouTube pages.
Hello, welcome to the 20 Social Club.
I stand amazed in the presence of Jesus the Nazarene, and wonder how he could love me, a sinner condemned unclean, singing how marvelous, how wonderful, and my song shall ever be. How marvelous, how wonderful is my Savior's love for me. He took my sins and my sorrows and made them his very own. He bore the burden to Calvary and suffered and died alone, singing how marvelous, how wonderful, and my song shall ever be. How marvelous, how wonderful is my Savior's love for me.
Rutherglen, we've got Orangemen, whose patriotic flame will never die. And when you hear the battle cry, it will be the Orangemen and Rutherglen.
Welcome back to the Orangewomen from Rutherglen as we continue to talk with Sister Hannah Riddell. Before the break, we'll talk about you moving into LLOL 183. The lodge has a reputation of being a good night out. Do you think it's important for members to socialise together?
Because you get, both sides of them. Instead of sitting at your meeting and doing business, and if you're out socialising, you let yourself relax.
Oh, definitely.
And a lot of our nights we either go weekends or maybe overnight stays. We very rarely go from here on the same nights. works out
No,
better.
it's one thing your lodge has always been known for, like, the
Aye.
really, unlike, like, she's done a couple of the Normandy and things that have you thought, if you get anyone that sticks out that was the best one that you've had?
Well, Annie Ingalls was in 183. But there've been a lot of good mistresses, Ellen Cuthbertson and Margaret Madden and Jill and Lorraine McNaught and Catherine, and I don't take positions. I'm a floater. I just say I'm a floater because if nobody turns up, they put me into the position. And
Nah.
so,
See, if you get any, just going back to your nights out, if you get any night out that it sticks out in your memories, why the best?
well, we all went to Scarborough for my 75th birthday. No, 70th birthday, but years on myself. And we were down there for the weekend. It was the weekend of the parade.
Oh,
So it was fantastic. And the British Legion hit wasn't open, but as soon as they seen us, they sent and get the drinking and the entertainment and all the rest of it.
that's brilliant, isn't it?
So it was really fabulous that weekend.
A few years ago, I done the Scarborough
Then we all had royal family masks on, so nobody knew who was behind them.
so you could do stuff and they'll get caught.
Aye, no get caught, nobody.
It's good down there for the parade and that's
Aye,
because I did
brilliant
a few
down there.
years ago for it and it was actually really good. So that's been the one that you liked the most.
Aye, it was good.
No, definitely. I think, as we've said to a few people, like with the social club as well as here, I think it's good to be able to socialise as well because people, you're in a meeting a wee bit more formal and stuff like that, but when you just get to relax and you can see people a wee bit better as
That's
well,
what's
isn't
up.
it? No, definitely. It's just, in your time in the adult lodge, you've seen many great members in your lodge. Was there anybody in particular that influenced you in the early years that you've been in 183? Anybody?
No, not really.
Just everybody together?
Not
Just,
all together, we just...
no, definitely. I think it's probably hard because you also had family in it as well, in it, because obviously you're going to look up to them more than...
No, we didn't. My sister, she didn't take much to do with it. She just was in it and that was it.
Right.
And after our meetings, we sit around the table down there and have our tea. And
Sometimes...
they don't ask me to make the tea because my tea's rotten.
Was it? I noticed that as well when women after it they have the wee sandwiches and stuff like that, and the men just go straight into the ballroom, watch the football.
Aye.
But I like the wee bit at the end of a women's meetings are great when you sit with your wee tea and your wee blether because it's good because it's just that wee relaxed social atmosphere as well and just get, I know, and I don't mean this bad, but you can talk for a long
Aye,
time.
talk for a living, aye.
Definitely. But it's good
Some more than others.
no, but it's good because as well, like you will sit and you'll hear and some maybe have a wee problem, they share it and before you know it they've left it being solved.
And then if somebody gives a problem out, you get somebody that cracks a wee joke and it puts the spirits back in it again.
Because you see it even as well, I know like during the lockdowns that sister been bouncing off each other as well as brothers and stuff, but I always feel a wee bit as well, maybe it's a societal thing, but the women will do it a bit better, bounce off each other because I think men just go, oh no, I'll just not bother anybody.
Aye.
But it's also as well, like for anybody that's watching as well, I know it's because it's been tough times for people that if there is anybody that's in, just contact even the page or contact a brother or sister in your lodge because people will be there to listen.
I know.
It has been really tough times for people and I know that a lot of people come down to these wee meetings, they have their meeting, a wee cup of tea, they love it and it's good. So it's just to know that I think there's a lot of people are finding it really difficult for us stuff, but to know that we're all here as a district.
Aye, and stand by one another,
No,
aye.
definitely.
And it is, sometimes it is better maybe getting a wee cup of tea and a wee blather than
No, definitely.
thinging. That's how I like going out for a wee walk.
No,
Bump into
definitely.
somebody that you know.
I got the main street, you always bump into somebody, wouldn't you be able to have a wee socially distanced chat? Definitely. So you became superintendent of the juveniles over 30 years ago. How did that come about? How did you become superintendent?
Well, I was assistant superintendent and Margaret Bale, I think she left the lodge or she resigned and I was made up to superintendent.
Were you ready to take the role then? Did you feel?
Well, I had been helping about with them for years and years anyway, you know what I mean?
Was there any main reason why you thought I want to take superintendent? Is it just because it was always just in your
Oh, I like Wayne Dane. I've got the mentality of Wayne right enough, you know, I've been truthful.
That's it, because it's good because every district needs people like yourself doing that for the junior and juveniles because I think sometimes they're the we've forgotten part of districts at times.
Aye.
And
And they forget that they've got to follow in our footsteps because we'll not always be there.
That's exactly it. And when they got bad, I know for a fact that when junior and juveniles move up, they'll remember you and how much you gave them, your service to them as well helped them. And I think that also helps because you were junior and juvenile, so you know these people helped you as well. So I think that also inspires down, but I think more people maybe need to take a wee look and support them a wee bit more as well, isn't it? Definitely. What's made you successful as a superintendent? What do you think's made you successful?
I don't know. I've always got the back now of the veins. And the mothers have always been good, I know.
No, definitely. I think it's all like, because you're doing JuvLOL, that when they're in it, the parents seem to become a part of
I bet they get into a row, they take button too much and tell the veins to the end, and I'll go there and charge me the night. So, leave them alone.
But that's good, because in a junior job, can I know that they'll have their own free say and stuff, and they don't have to think what mum and dad thinks. They can say what they want to say as well. So it's good that there's somebody there to go, I'll let them.
Aye, there's some of the veins tell their mother and fathers not to go to the bus runs because they don't want them there.
And as you start getting a bit older, it's like, I don't want my mum and dad there. No, definitely. So throughout your time as superintendent, a lot has changed in children's interests. Do you think it's hard to keep up with fresh ideas with such a wide age group, from babies all the way up to teenagers? So what keeps them interested, do you know?
Well, we ask the veins what they want to do, and a lot of them, the bigger ones will go, oh, we're not wanting a Halloween party, we're not wanting an Easter bonnet thing. So they usually just come down and they sit maybe on their phone, their own tablets, and then they'll get involved when they feel like doing it. They usually end up getting involved.
Definitely, I think that's always the thing. Is like,
and then it's Stuart McCaffrey we usually get for our DJ, and he's no bad at letting the bigger boys and lasses up for to help him when he's doing it. So he's quite pushy and all with the veins like that now.
So if the older ones come down, they can...
They can help Stuart out, and it makes them quite happy.
That's good. I think you could also sort of sense that, like, if you're having Halloween parties, go, I'm not doing it, and then they go down, like, before they know it, they're there gluing things to the hat.
That's right, aye.
As you say, we're all kids inside at one point, we all have to do it, but I think when you get to that sort of that age in it, it's like they're too cool to do things, but really deep down, they really
You
want
talk
you know they want to go and join in, and most of the times
they want to stay there.
Oh, definitely. I think as well, like, total difference is just technology as well. Like, you would have come down and sat on the phone, excuse me, but you've got maybe one's young, I don't know, maybe 11, 12, 13, maybe even younger, I don't know, and sitting with phones and tablets and things like that. So do you find it hard to try and incorporate technology in?
At the moment, because we were talking about trying to get them doing laptops and all that for to do different things. But it wouldn't work, and we couldn't get the connections or something.
Ah, right. Maybe hopefully we'll get that sorted.
Through time it'll get
definitely. Because I know that they've got the Wi-Fi and that set up now as well and stuff.
So all different,
But that's good. But it's just, also because it's just fighting a generation thing now.
And then some of the quizzes, it's a DVD they've got to watch and go through it, and then that's what the questions are all about on the actual quiz. So that Peter Thompson in 2013, some of the mothers had a DVD player, so he gave us a lady a DVD player so that we could get to the mothers, let them watch it in the house for.
Okay, that's good.
And all the rest of it.
It's pretty mental to think that that's a thing that people don't have in the house now, is DVD
I know.
players. Have actually changed. I mean, I still remember when I was younger watching videos and stuff like that. What's a DVD player? Stuff like that. So it just shows how different things change.
That is, everything's all changing.
So, what's been the highlight so far of your time as juvenile superintendent?
I must say it was our centenary parade and the Hill of Rutherglen and up in Overton Park and all down here and all the rest of it after it.
Right.
It was fantastic. And then 10 years after it, we done a wee parade with different lodges. One for New Stevenson and all the rest of it too, so it was good.
That's good. I think we've got such a great town here today, parades, and it's big enough as well. And I know Overton Park, I know we say, we could hold a big walk here.
I think that too.
We definitely could, and it's maybe something we could for sure maybe get to have the big walk and rolling, because it's definitely big enough and the park's big enough. And as you say, it's just because it's a heart where we are as well, isn't it? And it's like, let's go to Overton Park. But did you have good weather for your parade?
It was alright.
That's good. Because sometimes you do these parades.
Sometimes we'll let drink rats.
I know, and it's always the same, 9 times out of 10 in it, on Junior Juvenile Day in it, and it's the rain usually always slashes down. It's
but doesn't this happen the rains? Know how the adults will go look at the weather.
I know, but
doesn't this happen the rains near it is?
No, it's good that, because they just straight on it, umbrellas up and away they go in it. No, it's definitely good. Looking back over your entire life as an Orangewoman, is there any special moments or events that stand out in your memory?
Well, I had the juniors at Belfast, Catherine and me, and that was good. And we were staying in a hostel, so we took them all there and showed them all different things. we showed them Derry's Walls and had them through the Apprentice Boys.
I remember that trip being that I unfortunately couldn't make it because of work, and I was absolutely gutted because you speak, even to today, you speak to people about the trip, they said it was brilliant. And one thing I know they loved to me was Danwilton's Cottage.
That's right, we done a meeting in Danwilton's Cottage, and in the hostel it was one wee boy had made electrical stuff for his hair and all the rest of it, worse than what the lasses said, know what I mean? We used to take in the driver, he took us to a Pallyhas house that he knew, and we were made welcome there as well, so it was really good.
Do you think that's a trip that they could try and look for the future for them?
They could, aye.
Definitely, because I know...
But see, there's a lot of different rules now, and you need to get different things through Grand Lodge and different things now to take them away to trips like that.
Is it mental, like, you speak through things as like how things have changed as well?
I know,
it's all changed. About things when you used to speak out how easier things were, but obviously it's safer now and it's definitely the right way it should be, to be fair. But I think even when you speak to like Nikki and stuff like that, when they're talking about the time they went and they loved it, so they did.
And it was brilliant.
Obviously, I'd love to go to one trip this time. But,
because now I know they like to, if you see somebody taking photos when you're out in parade with the range, you can ask them to stop it,
right,
because they're not supposed to do all that.
Whereas before that, probably didn't.
They would flag here all the time.
Just when you touched back earlier on, you talked about like your grandkids getting into the Orange and stuff like that. How did you feel when your grandkids were getting into the Orange Order?
Well, smashing. Because in 183 the new, there's 3 generations in it. There's me, Catherine and Elaine.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
So it's good, and that we're on the one lodge, no.
Did you always sort of know that your grandkids would end up in it as well?
Okay, well, Martin, he's in it too, and wee Gary was in it, he was in Juveniles. But he supported the Celtic, so...
Oh, a bit of banter the American done for that.
so he didn't get into the adults, he just left them when he was 16.
A lot of people, they go into Juvenile, they just sort of don't bother getting in, is it? And obviously, like...
William, he went into 213 as well.
No, definitely. No, it's good to just see the generations, because when you see something like you say 3 generations of it's brilliant. It's absolutely great. So just well, what advice would you give any young person joining the Orange Order for the first time?
Don't listen to what people tell you. Find out for yourself. And well, be right, somebody's supposed to go out and investigate them, and make sure that you're the proper person to get in, and you know a different religion and all that.
No, that's definitely, because obviously there is a wee sort of interview you do, but to everybody that think we're joining, it's no like interrogation or anything.
No.
Just, that's a bit.
Because the lodge you're getting into, you're actually more or less knowing the people that's coming out to investigate you, so you can sit and relax with them.
No, definitely. I think that's important as well, like to know of any prejudgments, say anything that's going, because but I know there's people that have messaged the page, want to join, they don't know anybody and just whatever.
Aye.
And as well, like that, if you come to join the Orange Order, it'll be daunting. Of course, it will be. It's like anything else, like new jobs and all that. But there is people that will look after.
There's always somebody that'll take you under the wing.
Definitely, and there's loads of people in this district that are well-esteemed members that, like yourself, that will definitely help people. And it's good to know, because even you're always learning as well. And I don't know if I go, don't get my person to go to the 90s there is David, because he's really he knows a lot about the orders well as. But no matter what, there's never a stupid question either, just to ask. And even if you're in meetings, do you think like people just don't be scared to
up and talk?
Because
we've even had to text David through different things through the Juveniles, no?
No, but that's it, you're always learning something, and there's always somebody there that will give you that good bit of advice.
Aye, then if it backfires, we can blame it on David.
Exactly. Wonder where he gets his information for you. You know, but Sister Hannah Riddell, thanks very much. It was an honour to interview you today and hear your stories. It was really, really good, and we really appreciate your time and coming down, and we hope you stay safe. Next month we'll be joined by Brother Alec McCall of LLOL 12 on Sunday the 6th of June at 6 p.m. as we continue to listen to the stories of the Orangemen from Rutherglen. In the meantime, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for obviously tuning in again and supporting us through the last 9 months. If you keep a wee eye on the district pages and our social media pages for anything that's coming up and coming, and hopefully as the restrictions are getting a wee bit less restricted, then we can get you back in the halls soon, and we can start to meet each other face to face soon. But stay safe. Thanks very much. our town, our culture, our traditions, our history, our members. For the first time ever, the members of Rutherglen Orange and Purple District 20 can tell their stories to you as part of Rutherglen's first ever podcast. Join me, Jason Hamilton, as I meet the Orangemen from Rutherglen at 6 p.m. on the first Sunday of every month, live on the District's Facebook, Twitter and YouTube pages.
I'll sing a song of history long, a struggle for the borough we all love, the Rutherglen town, a town strong, whose people bear allegiance to the crown. In Rutherglen we've got Orangemen, whose patriotic flame will never die. And when you hear the battle